Hello, we'll do a little Clonmel update. So on Monday there was no activity at the site. On Tuesday then the Gardaí arrived with big numbers. I don't know the exact number, but between themselves and the security guards that were there, I would imagine there was at least 30 or 40 of them. They removed protesters from the road. They blockaded, I suppose made a semicircle around the entrance to the site while standing on a public road. They blocked off the end of the hill and the top of the hill, making it inaccessible to people to get up and down. What is interesting about it is you had Gardaí who were standing shoulder to shoulder facing Irish people with a private security firm. And not only that, but this private security firm we subsequently found out or learned is English, and it is run by a man who either lives in Birmingham or does a lot of his work in Birmingham. Okay, so you have Gardaí come up on the Tuesday, removed the protesters, got the builders in. The lads are continuing protesting there. The guards then, it was pointed out to them on several occasions by members of the public that the security guards who the Gardaí were speaking with and conferring with had no identification on them. They had no signage to indicate what company they were working for or even what their role was there. Nobody could distinguish this guy from that guy. They only have yellow jackets on. No one knows if they're construction workers or if they're security guards. So the guards are freely speaking with these people while not speaking with the protesters. Okay? They're also, we've seen, going in and out of the site themselves, shaking hands with the guys, having a laugh, how's it going kind of thing, and then coming out and just being snotty and condescending and passive aggressive to the Irish people that are protesting. Okay? So what we have also seen is the level of unsafety on the site is unnatural. So we witnessed yesterday a forklift lift up, I'd say a couple of 100 kilos maybe of weight in, it looks like guttering or some sort of piping. None of it was strapped in, just forklifted it straight up. It all fell off the side of it. There's people walking past and around the forklift at the time, you know. So we said, it was called yesterday as well, they said there's going to be some accidents on that site with the state of the way things are. Lo and behold, I'll get to that in a second. So the guards arrested someone yesterday as well. Now, from all accounts, he's been charged with a public order offence. So nice and vague. He was sitting on a wall with a megaphone, nothing wrong with that. And he was pulled off the wall by 3 or 4, maybe 5 guards who all George Floyded him on the ground to a large degree. Held him down on the ground while 3 other guards were trying to palm people's phones to stop them from recording the way the Gardaí were treating this person. Okay? So you have blatant breaking of the law by this security agency, this English security firm. It's been pointed out to the Gardaí. It was pointed out to an inspector and to a superintendent, and the Gardaí's response was totally arbitrary application of the law. So it's okay as long as you're on the workers' side of the fence to break the law, even in Gardaí presence, and nothing will be done. But if you're sitting on a wall protesting, then you'll be arrested. Okay? And there's videos of this stuff, you can see it flying around. You can make up your own mind around it. I'm just offering to you, from my perspective, what I've seen and what I've known to have happened there. Okay? Make your own mind up around that. So the Gardaí are turning a blind eye to the reporting of laws being broke. They also took down the camp, smashed it to pieces. They didn't even offer anybody the opportunity to go in and reclaim any of the possessions that they hadn't or prior to them breaking it down. Okay? There was the follow-up camp, I think, built, taken down. Yesterday, there was another young fella arrested for failure to give his details. Make it out what you will. He was even, for a few seconds, a front face chin lock was kind of applied, a bulldog choke to him. 3 guards to arrest someone for not giving their details. Make it out what you will. There was also yesterday, one of the workers who was working on the fences flashed a knife at 2 children that were in the adjacent field beyond the fence, on the other side of the fence. This was reported, as far as I know. The mother of one of the kids spoke with the head of the security firm, who, this is in video as well, you can find that, who admitted to this, that one of his security guards had seen the worker with a knife in his hand, brandishing a knife, and he engaged the man, and that man was identified by a guard, a member of the Gardaí, and when that man came to work this morning, he was dismissed. He wasn't arrested, he was dismissed. Okay, so you have people being pulled off walls and arrested up in court this morning, bang, pretty quick. You have young fellas being put in bulldog chokes and arrested for not giving their details, and now you have foreign workers being secured by an English security firm who are brandishing weapons and knives at children, and they're just being dismissed, probably moved to another site somewhere. Okay, so that's what you're dealing with. And I will add to that, people throw around the word fascism loosely, incorrectly, and seemingly instinctually at this period in time, okay? But what we were looking at in Clonmel is blatant fascism. You have the government, the Irish government, who draws its power and its finances, if you want to call it theirs, from the Irish taxpayer. That Irish taxpayer's money is now being spent on, number one, paying the Gardaí, their overtime and all. Number two, paying on flying in or shipping in these English security companies who are now building these massive structures, compounds, to pour a load of African and Middle Eastern men into. Some Eastern Europe too. Okay? Who knows? Pick and mix. Take your pick. And may the luck of the gods be on you, you know? So, the Gardaí, who are being paid by the state, by the taxpayer, are now involved in removing protesters, hurting people, from exercising their constitutional right that the Gardaí are sworn an oath to uphold. Okay? They're removing these protesters from interfering in the construction and the work of a private security firm, they're working side by side with them, and a private construction company who are being paid by the state. So the state is now filling the pockets of a private security firm and of a private construction company in this country to implement things that the local Irish people do not want. And when the local Irish people go to say they don't want this, they're beaten off the roads by the Gardaí. Total conflict of interest, and that is fascism in action. State apparatus, big corporations, hand in hand, we work together, and God damn the rest of them. Okay? So that's what you're seeing manifest in Clonmel, and I will leave it at this. What many people in this country, and in Clonmel, I obviously reference Clonmel because that's my background, but what many people in this country have recognised for a long, long time in the Gardaí as being a weapon, a danger to certain classes of people, wholeheartedly. There is blood on the fingertips of the Gardaí, of children. Okay? People have all kinds of skullduggery. Go stick your ear to the grapevine, you know, and discern what might be true from watching these people's behaviour and from hearing certain witness accounts of these people's behaviour. But that's all being revealed right now to the whole of Ireland. These guards have been recorded. They know they're being recorded. And they're ignoring laws being broken in front of them. Who knows? Are they told to leave it off? But from my own discernment, it looks like if you're applying the laws in an aggressive fashion to the local population who are objecting to this private corporation, what they're doing, and the state as well. But you're lackadaisy with the laws when it comes to the state and this private corporation. Who signed off on that? Who said that's okay? If these guards are so bold to knowingly have their faces recorded, their badge numbers recorded, the whole thing, to allow the law be broken right in front of them and not lift a finger even when there's a complaint being made by a citizen, by an Irish person. It's crazy. But that's the Clonmel update. I will add one final thing. Going back to what I mentioned a few minutes ago about the safety measures involved in the site. There was an ambulance helicopter having to lift someone out of that site this morning. In addition to that, there was one at least ambulance and another ambulance car, another long kind of station wagon things. So there's 3 emergency, if not 4 emergency vehicles in that site today, because something horrible happened in there to someone, to multiple people even, accident-wise or whatever the case is. But something so bad had to happen in there this morning that one of these people, if not 2, were airlifted out of the site, which means they're probably going to Cork, Limerick, or probably Dublin, okay? And I think another person was gone to Clonmel. So at least 2 casualties or victims in there, or whatever the case is, or whatever you want to call it. The site is still operational. You would imagine if there was an accident on that scale that they'd have to go, hang on a second, how did that happen? Let's shut this down for the day, let's evaluate where things went wrong, and let's see if we can put in a different kind of plan for it, okay? The initial plan certainly didn't work. Where's your contingency, okay? Obviously not. The site is, I think, is supposed to close down. But what they done instead is they just took big sheets of board and put them across the gates, and now you can't technically see in, I suppose. So if they're working in there, well, you can't see, you know. So I would imagine there's going to be additional hazards and accidents in there, strictly because they're not adhering to any of the standards that are supposed to be imposed in Ireland. Whoever's job that is, you're not getting down to that site to see what's going on in there. So I will leave it at that. One last thing, if anyone cares, but it hurt a bit to see them fences being put up. It did, like it stung. It hurt, you know. There's a battle lost there, and the consequences of losing the war, we'll find out.